Okay, so this is something different that I wanted to try. I just wanted to invite maybe different kind of podcasters. They don't actually have to be in a gaming podcast. Different podcasters, people I find interesting, can be anyone really, to talk about their gaming experiences. So this is sort of like a new show / experiment kind of thing. So I hope you enjoy. Hello and welcome to the playonultra podcast. This is a special episode. I have no idea what to call it yet, but what I'm thinking is to have a guest and then we can just talk about their gaming experiences. So today with me is Diamond Dave from Podcast Without Borders. How are you doing, Dave?
Good. Thanks for having me on, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is awesome. We've been talking on Twitter for quite some time, right?
Yeah.
A couple of months.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you know what blows my mind too is that you're all the way in Malaysia.
Yeah, oh yes.
And I'm talking to you right now in Canada.
Yep. It's crazy to think like the stuff you felt was only found in sci-fi movies 15, 20 years ago, you can do it now.
Yeah.
No problems.
And the other crazy thing is we found each other on Reddit. Of all places.
Yeah, although Reddit can be toxic at times, but it does have a good community there.
This is true. And it does give you a lot of cool things like GW and gaming stuff. Yeah.
GW. For anybody that don't know what GW is, it's okay. You don't have to know.
Just go look it up. Do yourself a favor, go look it up.
Reddit GW?
Yeah.
Okay, so how I found you, I think you were talking about having a podcast or something on one of the Reddit threads. And then I just asked you what was your podcast, and then I started listening to it, Podcast Without Borders. And then when somebody on the Reddit, our podcast asked list down everything that we've listened to, and then I listed down yours, and then you messaged me, right?
Yeah. And I was because I didn't even know you were listening, and I was going through. I'm like, that'd be funny if my podcast is on this list. I'm like, holy crap, there's my podcast. Did you
Control F or something?
No, I didn't. I literally looked through every list because I was looking to see if there's other podcasts I could get into, or maybe even friends. And I saw mine, and that was you.
Yeah, so it's a huge coincidence, actually.
It was destiny, my friend. It was destiny that we're doing this.
It is. So I've always wanted to have Dave. He's actually the co-host. His best friend. He hosts Podcast Without Borders with his best friend Aaron Corbett, but today is Friday night and he's probably getting some pussy or something.
Yeah, that's pretty much Aaron. See, Aaron never tells you when he's going to get laid, but he kind of alludes to it by saying like, yeah, I'm busy this weekend. And Aaron's never busy any weekend unless he's hooking up with a girl. So it's pretty much safe to say that he's getting laid this evening. Yeah.
Okay, so tell the good people listening, what is Podcast Without Borders?
Podcast Without Borders is essentially a podcast where me and, as you mentioned, my co-host Aaron sit down with anybody, be it podcaster, be it friend, be it anybody we don't know, and just have a conversation for an hour and a half. It's literally like a loose interview show with a lot of drunken craziness. Because as podcasters know, well, some of you, if you're alcohol and podcasting go hand in hand, so me and Aaron just like to sit around, have a few drinks, and just have casual conversations. It's like a barroom style type of podcast, but anybody could come on, and I really hope to have you on one day, Shar.
Oh yes, I would be honored to be on.
It would be amazing.
Yeah, it would be. And make sure Aaron is there.
Oh, he will be there that time. Yeah, he can't dodge out on recording a podcast. It's just we sometimes have to move our scheduling around if he's getting late, that's all.
Okay. Oh yeah. So your schedule basically is around him getting late.
Pretty much. We're two single guys. We don't do much with our lives. So
does he have like calendar events of when he's getting late and he's sharing that with you? There's a getting late calendar kind of thing?
He doesn't really have a calendar. You just kind of know. You kind of know as it gets like you're saying, hey, what are you doing tonight? And then he doesn't answer you, or it's like, I'm busy. And then you know something's happening.
Okay, so we're going to talk about video games and a bunch of random stuff. So whatever that comes to our mind, we'll just talk about it. So this is a very less structured podcast compared to the main Play and Ultra show.
Which is fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
I love the playonultra podcast. Sorry, I gotta give you some credit, man. The show is friggin' awesome. Like, there's only one video game podcast I listen to, and that's yours.
That's very flattering. Like, seriously. Because there's a lot of good video game podcasts out there. I listened to a few of them myself.
I found the perfect one for me, and that was your show.
Oh, man. That having somebody acknowledge your work like that makes it all worthwhile, even if it's just one person.
Yeah, I know, right? And good. And I mean it too. Like, I love the dynamic that you and your co-hosts have, and I can't wait for one day to hopefully to get a hold of Nathan and have some constructive arguments about Heroes of the Storm.
Constructive and Nathan don't really go hand in hand.
It'll probably be a brawl for me and him for about an hour.
So why don't we start with that? Like, what have you been playing right now?
I kind of find that my gaming phase is going back and forth. I'm currently gaming on PC and PS4, and I actually just picked up a Vita because I'm a really huge fan of JRPGs on the Vita. Like Persona.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever played that series, Persona?
Yes, I played Persona 3. I wanted to get into Persona 4, but that was like at the end of my PS2's shelf life.
Oh, you got to get Persona 4, man. Even if you have to somehow save for it.
That's the thing. I'm actually subscribed to R Vita on Reddit, and they basically said it's a JRPG machine.
It is the reason to get a Vita. Like, I remember there was a point in my life where I wasn't playing any video games about a year or so ago, 2 years ago. And my friend would not shut up about this stupid game, and I happened to have a Vita. So I bought it, and literally just became, like, absorbed in this game. Like, I could not stop playing it. And I played it nonstop, laughed, cried. It was the perfect example of, like, how perfect a video game can be, in my opinion. And it has to be one of my favorite games of all time.
And what is that? Which Persona?
Persona 4.
Persona 4, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So definitely pick that up. But as far as what I'm gaming right now, I'm playing a lot of Heroes of the Storm. I like it. A lot of people don't like it, Nathan. And but I find with Heroes, it's more of like a laid back MOBA. I mean, you've got these two huge machines that are League of Legends and Dota 2, right?
Yep.
So Blizzard has a tendency to make these very fun, awesome games. Yeah, simple games for people to play. So why would they make a game
like Hearthstone is like the best example. They just like strip down all the complex stuff and make it so accessible to casual players.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's what they do, right? That's Blizzard for you.
Yeah, and that's what they did with this game. And like I remember playing League of Legends, and I played it decently. Like I didn't get very far. I think I got in silver. But I mean, just every single game I played, I found myself frustrated because you'd either get like bashed or you'd get swarmed about how terrible your play was, and everyone was yelling at each other, and it just wasn't fun. Where I can flip on a game of Heroes of the Storm and easily play all night and not have to worry about anybody chirping, just having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, sorry to say this, but when it comes to competitive gaming, it's very toxic.
Yes, it is.
It is very toxic. But how's the community in Heroes of the Storm? I guess it would be quite similar, right? No?
I don't want to say it's similar because I definitely don't think it's as toxic. Like, I can count on one hand how many games I've played where it's been toxic. Where League of Legends, it was like literally every game to the point where, like I said, I just did not want to play it anymore. But I find that everyone's just playing the game to have fun and not really worrying about, trying to go platinum or pro, which I think is one of the key things why people pick up League of Legends, because everybody wants to go pro.
Yeah. I mean, it would be more... I think the money is in Dota 2, but right?
I think Dota 2 has the biggest prize pool, but I could be wrong.
But it is. The international 2015 is close to 18 million.
And that's insane. Insane that players can play this game and get like that kind of prize pool from it, just from playing a video game.
I think first prize is maybe 9 million. I'm not too sure. I'm just shooting numbers out of my ass, but
what would you do with
it? Should be something like that.
What would you do if you played Dota 2 and won $9 million? Seriously.
Okay, well, firstly, the $9 million probably have to be split among 5 players and the coach and the manager, maybe. So say you got
$2. Well, no, I don't know what you get. Let's say you got $1 million out of that or something.
Oh man, $1 million? Probably do something boring like get a house or something.
Good. Well, that means you're a reasonable guy. You're thinking in the future, not going out and partying and going to Vegas or something.
I mean, that's Asians for you. We don't. I'm 3/4 Chinese, And when it comes to money, the Chinese are like the Jews of the Asian people. I'm fucking serious. Like, so that's what I learned from very young. But of course, I'm gonna blow it up. I'm gonna blow some on like stuff.
Yeah, you got it.
You don't need to know what, but yeah.
Fair enough.
What would you do if you had like $1 million?
If I had $1 million, I know exactly what I would do. I would, I wouldn't buy a house outright. I'd at least put a down payment on getting something small and cozy. And then the rest of the money I would use to travel and visit other podcasters and take all my friends and go somewhere and party for like a week.
That'd be a good idea. I would love to go to Canada and like do a live one with you guys.
Oh man, it would just be like I'm visiting other podcasters that I've met, which is cool because this community, and we could go on a tangent about this separately, but the podcasting community is just such an amazing example about like how amazing people can be. Like, I'm going to Thanksgiving with the podcasting people. In 5 weeks, I'm going to a Comic-Con with a bunch of podcasters. It's just so cool that everybody becomes so friendly and just wants to meet up. So,
like, when is Aaron getting his passport?
He's never going to get his passport, man. I'm sorry. I've tried, but that boy will not do something unless he has a reason to. Maybe if like some hot girl says like, come see me in Florida for a weekend, he'll do it, but I don't think.
Didn't you say you're going to pay for his travel and shit?
I did. I gave my co-host basically a free play ticket to come to the Rose City Comic-Con, and he said no.
That's like everybody's dream, to have your travel paid for.
And you know what? It was a reason. It was pretty cheap. Like it wasn't something crazy and extravagant. Like the only reason why I offered is because like it was actually affordable to get a second ticket for him, but he just didn't want to do it.
What's up with him? Come on, Aaron. Is it too late? When is the Rose City Comic Con?
It's in 5 weeks. September. It's just after my birthday, actually, September 17th to the 20th.
Cool. So there's still time for him to change his mind, right?
I don't think he's going to change his mind. Well, if he would have had his passport, I would have just bought the ticket for him, and then he would have been screwed. But because he doesn't, I can't just buy it for him, and then, he just can't go because he doesn't have it. Do you have your passport?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I can renew anytime I want.
All right. Well, you're coming to Rose City Comic Con. There. Funds diverted. Other than what was I saying? Heroes of the Storm.
Heroes of the Storm, yeah.
I'm playing Final Fantasy X on Vita. And I just reactivated WoW.
Okay, so that was a question I had for the Vita, because I wanted to play a lot of the PlayStation 2 and maybe some PlayStation 3 games, but I wasn't sure what was supported on it.
Well, Persona 4 and 3 are the only ones I played on the Vita, plus some of the other smaller games, but when I got it this time, I'd always wanted to play Final Fantasy X, and I never beat it on the PlayStation 2, so I had to pick it up. And I mean, it was only like, I think it was something stupid, like $30 Canadian for I think it's 10 and 10.2 are combined. And I got to say it's a pretty good port, man. Like I'm very impressed with it. I mean, Titus is still a whiny bitch, but I mean it's a good port.
It's a HD port, right?
Yeah.
Did you get bundled with FF10 too?
Yeah. So you get 10 and you get 10.2 with it.
For like what, $20?
Yeah, it's like $20 or $30. Well, Canadian. I don't know what that is in Malaysian.
Well, our currency is going down the drain, so it will probably be like 70 ringgit today and maybe 100 ringgit tomorrow or something.
I don't know what that is in Canadian, but that sounds pretty high.
We're pretty much like 4 ringgit to $1.
Wow, that's crazy.
About that, yeah. Last year used to be 3.1 ringgit, 3.1 ringgit to the US dollar.
So what do you?
So I was buying shit from Amazon and it was pretty cheap, but now it doesn't make sense anymore.
Are you old enough to drink? I assume you are.
I'm 27.
Okay.
I was a bartender.
Were you really?
So I was a bartender, so I needed to drink. It was a prerequisite.
So what does a beer cost there?
Okay, that's a funny thing. We actually consume a lot of alcohol, but over here, because it's technically, okay, it is an Islamic country, right? So it is quite expensive there. Expensive here. So are you asking a beer at like a normal bar?
Yeah. Like say you go into a bar and you want to order just a bottle of beer.
Okay, so I was drinking yesterday. I ordered a pint. We got 5 pints of Heineken for about 115 ringgit. So that's about $40.
What?
30 US dollars, sorry.
Are you kidding me?
Because our currency is shit now.
Wow.
Is it expensive or cheap?
Is that 30 per or 30 total?
Total. 30 US. It used to be 40 US dollars, but because our currency is shit now, so it's 30 US dollars for 5 pints, five full pints of Heineken.
That's expensive for American, and that would be double expensive for Canadian.
Yeah,
oh, that'd be cheaper.
Sorry.
Here. Yeah, well, sorry, it's cheaper. I'm getting all confused now. I'm actually drinking right now as we're speaking.
What are you drinking?
I'm being a huge girl tonight. I'm drinking some apple cider.
I love apple cider. Don't let anyone say anything bad about apple cider. Fuck them.
Yes, you go, man.
Who doesn't like apple cider? What the fuck?
There's some people I know that don't like apple cider, and I
like alcohol and I like fruits, so it goes well hand in hand.
Only real men drink fruity drinks.
Yeah, only real men have the balls to drink fruity drinks in front of people and tell them about it.
Man, we're gonna have some awesome conversations. This is gonna be great. Before we dive into that, though, and World of Warcraft I just reactivated that, which could be a huge mistake, but I'm playing it with a friend, so we'll see. What are you currently playing?
Hold on, did you get the new expansion?
Well, I'm gonna see, because if I level up to max level with my current character and I'm still having fun with it with my friend, then I'll buy the expansion. But if I don't last 2 weeks, then I'm just gonna cancel it.
So what I've been playing a lot of Payday 2.
Payday 2?
Yeah, because Jonathan from the playonultra podcast, he just got it like a month ago, so he's starting to play it now. And I just told him, well, I don't mind playing with you, because the last time I stopped was like middle of last year, and I already had like 170, 180 hours on it. But then I started playing again, and it got updated so much that it's very different. So I'm starting to be addicted to it again.
Me and Aaron Corbett played the crap out of that game, and I think one of my top 5 gaming moments of all time was me and him did that one mission where you start and you break into the meth house.
The meth house, yeah, that's called Rats.
Yeah, so I think it's like a level 4 or level 5 hard dungeon, but it was just me and him, so we said, fuck it, we're just gonna do it. We go in, try to make meth, the house blows up. We go running outside. Next mission, you have to get the files, set the files on fire, cops show up, barely escape. Next after that is you have to go to the bus that has the money under the seats. And so Aaron's like, okay, I'll get the money. And he's like, uh-oh, what are these flashing lights? The bus blows up. Everything's on fire. We're running away as cops are shooting at us. And we just barely made it out. But we failed every single part of that mission and just losing our shit.
Did you manage to do that mission properly the next time?
We had to get a few more people to do it. There's no way we could do it with the 2 people that we had.
Yeah, because day 2, those files that you were talking about was the codes to defuse the C4s in the day 3. The C4s are hidden under the money.
It was just everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
Went wrong.
And that was the best part about it, is just everything went wrong at once. But we should play that sometime. I still have it on my computer if I can get it working.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I really want to play Payday 2 with some people.
It's
always fun to play with your friends.
The WoW guy I play with, he's a huge fan of Payday 2, and he would join us in a heartbeat.
Cool.
So there we go, 4-person team.
With Aaron?
Either Aaron or Jonathan, if he's into it.
Great. So what else have I been playing? I just bought a Humble Bundle. There's a new Humble Bundle from Namco Bandai. So they had a few games. I got the Pac-Man Championship Edition. I got this a roguelike 2D platformer kind of thing called Platform Mines. But I've been playing this game called Mercenary Kings. Have you heard of it?
I think I've seen it, and I think you mentioned that last podcast you were talking about, but it sounded really cool.
It is. It's like a Contra game where you need to talk to the guy to start the missions, and you have to pick up salvageable items and stuff to upgrade your weapons. You can put in bionic upgrades onto your body and shit like that. It's a pretty good game. I like it.
I'll have to check it out. I'm always down for new games. The other thing I find too with Steam is you've probably done this where you've bought tons of games and they just sit in your library.
I buy games because they're cheap.
Exactly.
Not because I want to play them.
It's like shoe shopping for guys. You see this game that's like 90% off. It's like, this game is $4. I'm never going to play it, but I need to have it because it's $4.
Yeah, and I don't know if is that a good thing? It's a good thing for Valve and the developers.
It is. Valve,
for sure.
Valve has a very smart marketing / platformer. Yeah. I mean, if you think about, like, I've even debated just getting rid of, because I did submit that question, I think it was 3 or 4 episodes ago, between console and PC. And I've debated getting rid of my consoles and just going PC, because, like, I walk into the store the other day and video games are going up to like $70 or $80 Canadian for a disc, and that's expensive. Where
don't they like convert it 1-to-1, like $60 American, $60 Canadian?
Oh no! I think 70 cents American right now is $1 Canadian.
Oh,
yeah, our dollar has gone downhill too.
Is it because do you guys have taxes, right?
Oh yeah, we have tons of taxes, man. Tons of taxes.
Yeah.
Like, people always say that, they say we've got free healthcare. Well, it's not free. It comes off our taxes, and you do get taxed quite a bit for it. But it is nice when you have to go see the doctor. You don't have to worry about paying for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've heard enough horror stories about the Americans not being refused treatment, right, at the door, or whatever.
It sucks. I mean, I think America's on the right track to getting better programs in place, but it's just been a mess for years.
But you're American, right?
I lived in America. I am born Canadian, true and through. Oh, okay. But my family currently lives in Austin, Texas.
Do you have a citizenship?
No, I do not. That's why I'm currently here, and my family's down in Texas.
So you don't want to go back there?
I do, actually. I really like Texas. It's a very awesome state, very hot, very friendly, and as I'm getting older, I don't know what your family situation is, but I mean, I find that, like, I'm realizing you don't have a lot of time left with your parents or your siblings, more so your parents. And since I've been away from them for, like, 10, 12 years, I want to get back there and actually try to, see them. So we'll see what happens.
So is that in the near future, or?
Well, it's all based on the U.S. government, because I'm basically in a visa queue waiting to get my visa, and then after that I can either get my green card or my citizenship. So I'm just waiting for them to approve it.
What are you gonna do there?
I'm gonna go to school, actually. I've decided that if I actually work my way all the way down to Texas, I'm just gonna stick it out and go to school. As for what, I don't know, but we'll see.
And is Aaron gonna come with you?
Oh no,
he's probably gonna stay.
He needs his passport first.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Did you go to school?
Yeah, but I only got a diploma.
What
I just did.
What'd you get?
I just didn't feel. I have 2 actually. I went once for hospitality management, so that's where I got my F&B kind of stuff.
Okay.
And the second time is in journalism.
Nice. You didn't get into journalism that much?
No, after graduating, I went to work at an IT company, and now I'm in IT. So this is my second IT company. So I'm technically in IT now.
How do you like it?
It's good. I prefer IT over everything else. Pretty much, definitely over F&B. It's crazy working in F&B.
What's F&B?
Food and beverage.
Oh, food and beverage. Okay. But don't you make mad tips as a bartender? I know they do here in Canada.
You don't in Malaysia. Asians don't have the tipping culture.
Really?
No, they don't.
So if I'm at
it's very rare.
I'm at a bar, I don't tip.
Okay, this is the funny thing. To Asians, tipping is weird. Seriously.
Okay.
Maybe not to me, because I did work in food and beverage. And we do kind of understand. We do have people tipping us, but it's just not an unwritten rule like it is over there. Is it a written rule? It's not, right?
It's not a written rule, but you always tip. If you're at, like, a sit down restaurant or bar, you always tip. and usually it's
Is there a percentage?
at least 15%.
Huh.
Because
And
the waitresses...
Do you have like a service charge kind of thing? You don't, right?
No.
Yeah. We do here. We have like 10%.
Oh, so that is your tip, in a way.
Yeah, technically that's the tip. But people do still give like a little bit of extra.
Well,
Depends on the person.
See, I'll tip like a base rate. Like there's one bar we go to where we know all the waitresses there, and they're all extremely hot. So we tip them pretty good because they give us good service. But like if I'm just out at a restaurant and the service is bland, or it's just like, you know, they just bring you like a drink and they don't refill like your coffee or any of that jazz, then I usually just tip them standard and that's it.
And the standard is 15%?
15, yeah.
Wow. So, yeah, the reason why I didn't like food and beverage is because I needed to work like 6 days a week, almost 12 hours a day. And it's...
I've heard that.
Shit money. Really shitty money, like seriously.
See, a lot of people
over here, I mean,
love food and, what you call it? The certain,
food and beverage?
Yeah, food and beverage industry
yeah.
over here because you make tons of money because of the tips.
Ah.
On top of getting
Okay.
a wage.
And I'm guessing because is the tips like an official thing? They don't get taxed on tips, right? Do they?
You know what? I don't know. I assume that they have to declare their tips, but I
assume that nobody does.
I could be mistaken, but I assume they have to. They tax you for everything in Canada. Like I'm actually gonna have to pay the government $3,000 in taxes this year.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That sounds a lot to me.
It is a lot. But you know what? Taxes keep you good. Taxes, like I said, pay for healthcare, and
Yeah,
you
it keeps you alive.
can't really argue with it. So I mean, and there's nothing much you can do about it, right? It's not like I can just stop paying taxes. That would just be stupid.
Yeah.
I'm not Al Capone.
So, what's your first experience in video games? Like, what was your earliest that you can remember?
You know what? Funny story. I woke up this morning thinking, hey, I'm going to be talking to Shar today. This is going to be great. Got up, had some coffee, walking around, doing my job, and I'm trying to think of the first question that you'd ask. And I'm like, that's probably the first question he's going to ask me is what was my first gaming experience. The earliest one I can remember is playing Ocarina of Time with my dad.
So, who's on the controller?
And
who's telling who what to do?
So he came home with a Nintendo 64, and
That's sweet.
he had booted it up, and I think I had watched him play a lot of the other Zeldas on the Super Nintendo on that, and I just remember him throwing on Ocarina of Time and, you know, seeing that first kind of 3D world, and you're like, whoa, this is crazy. Yeah. And just sitting there and watching him play it, and I think I annoyed him so much because I kept asking him to play it that he just tossed me the controller and left, and I just binge played it for days. But definitely the Zelda series I think I would accredit to getting me into gaming.
So, yeah, I just wanna bring up something. You know how nowadays people like to say like, oh, you shouldn't play games for the graphics?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is something I don't understand because most of the time it's like the veteran gamers, people who grew up playing the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, the N64, whatever it is. We like to say like, you shouldn't play for the graphics, you should just play the game because it's a good game, mechanic-wise, storyline-wise. But the funny thing is, when we were playing those earlier games, like you were playing Ocarina of Time, I mean, if you look at Ocarina of Time now, it looks shit, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, even if you look at the new Game Boy one, like it still kind of looks like shit, but it's a great, masterful game.
Yeah, so you mean the 3DS one?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the port, right? The Ocarina of Time, redone.
Yeah, you could go back and play it on N64, but let's say even if you buy a 3DS and you buy the Majora's Mask port that they just did, the game still looks incredible on a handheld, as opposed to playing Angry Birds on your phone or something.
Oh yeah, but that's the thing. When we play like Ocarina of Time, that time it was considered like the best looking game.
Absolutely.
So back then we were also playing for the games for the graphics technically.
Well, look at now. You got games like The Witcher.
Yeah, I mean,
I fired that up and I was like, this is gorgeous. Like, you know, this actually makes me feel like there's wind and the grass is moving when I walk through it. And then I get into combat and I want to shoot myself in the head. But other than that, like The Witcher is a perfect example about currently how you can get sucked into like graphics.
A world, yeah. How are you liking The Witcher 3? As you know, Nathan doesn't really you know.
I loved Witcher 2. Didn't play Witcher 1. I just watched through it. This goes back to the Steam thing. I think I picked up Witcher 2 for something stupid like $6. Loved it. Could not wait for 3. And like I said, I fired up 3 and I was just so captivated by how good it looked and just how open the world was. The card game is really cool. The lore is awesome. The boobs are awesome. But you get into this stupid combat with it, and it just drives me mental. Like, it seriously kills the game for me. And I don't know why that is. And I've had somebody say that if you can get to a certain level, it gets so much better. But, I mean, I think I'm only like level 6 or 8. And just trying to get through just these 2 buttons of light attack, strong attack, light attack, strong attack. It just, I don't know, it kills it for me personally. Because it's a great game. Like, it's really well done. And it's the perfect example about how they should make games. But the combat drives me mental.
But is it really? Because we say Witcher 3 is like the perfect example of how you make a game, but the combat isn't really there, and game mechanics is a huge part of what a game is. So I'm not shitting on the Witcher 3. I'll probably get it when it's a bit cheaper because I don't have time to play it now. But I tried to get into Witcher 1. I hated it. I tried getting into Witcher 2. I didn't know what to do in combat. So I'm not sure if I'm going to waste my money or not.
I think from a developer standpoint, with Witcher 3, they did an incredible job making the game. I think, period. I think then what adapts from them designing it and putting it out to you being a user playing it, there's just a few minor things for me that just kill. And like I said, combat's one of them, and game mechanics. And what if, conversely, the game mechanics were awesome, but the story sucked? Or the voice acting sucked, or the environment sucked. So it's very hard to find that perfect balance between like what's an amazing game with maybe 1 or 2 flaws compared to having certain things you enjoy and just having a very terrible game. Like a terrible comparison, but look at the new Fantastic Four movie that just came out. Kind of awesome new...
Did you watch that?
I didn't. I'm not going to. But I mean,
yeah, it kind of looks like shit.
Yeah, reading...
I don't think I'm going to watch
reading these reviews that came out, I mean, like, they had this awesome cast. They could have carried this superhero momentum and gotten something good going, but they wasted it and just did a terrible movie. Now I'm prejudging it from what I've seen, but I'm not hearing anything good about it. So we'll see.
Yeah, I was listening to another podcast, and it was saying, like, they should have went with another villain instead of Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
And then, if this one does well, the second movie can be about Doctor Doom.
Well, this one definitely didn't do well. And supposedly they're doing another one, so I just think Fox is just throwing money away just to keep the rights to the franchise.
Oh yeah, they have to make a movie every...
Yeah, I don't...
10 years or something like that, right? That's a contract, right?
Yeah, or
with
yeah,
Marvel?
Yeah, or else they have to give it back to them, and I think this was just them saying that we're just going to do it to keep the rights. But I just don't understand why they didn't catch the momentum of the superhero movies and just do something good. I just don't get it. I don't...
Yeah, it's... I don't know, it's Fox. Maybe it's because of that, I don't know.
Fox and Sony, man. Well, Sony's become a little bit smarter because they're letting Marvel kind of help them with Spider-Man.
Yeah. I mean, it'll just be profitable to you anyways.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
And these guys like money, right?
You go to Marvel and you say, hey, we own the character. Why don't you come in? We'll hire some of your team, help us out, help us make a movie the way you would make it, but we still get the money for it. I'm sure they'd be happier as hell because they can actually make like a good movie and not just have these terrible Spider-Man movies. Well, 1 and 2 were good. 3 was god-awful. And I did not like the
2 was probably
Spider-Man.
my favorite.
Yeah, 2 was awesome.
2 was awesome. I didn't mind Andrew Garfield, to be honest.
You know, I didn't mind him either as Spider-Man. It's just the movie had a lot of just terrible stuff in it that just made me cringe. Like, he uses Bing. Who uses Bing?
Well, if they pay you enough money, I think you will use Bing too, right?
That's true. Yeah, I guess if they gave me millions of dollars, I'd probably...
$1 million? Yeah.
I'm browsing porn on Bing. Here you go, world.
So, yeah, maybe I'll just say what my first experience is.
Yeah, man.
So, because this is the first episode, so I think people should know me too. So my first experience is more or less... I didn't grow up a Nintendo kid. My dad always bought the Sega stuff. I don't know why. I think because we didn't really know what was good or what was not good. Because back then, gaming wasn't so big over here in Malaysia, so we didn't know what was everybody is playing. But I remember having a Sega Genesis. I also remember having the Atari, probably the Atari 2600.
Nice.
But I do remember that my favorite game was like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
That was probably my favorite.
That was a good game. That was a really good game.
The 2D one, not the 3D shit.
Yeah, the 2D ones were the best, period.
Yeah, but I think I really, really got into gaming when I got my PlayStation 1, which I bought with my own money at like 12 years old or something.
Did you ever play Silent Hill?
No, I can't play horror games. I'm a wuss. I can't play horror games.
I love horror games. The last Steam sale I picked up Alien, the new Alien one that just came out.
Yeah, like the less action, more survival kind of alien game, right?
Alien Isolation, because I'm in love.
Oh,
I'm in love
yeah.
with the universe of those films. Like I really love like the raggedy old like spaceships, and the way that Ridley Scott set up that universe, and like it plays really true to the movies, and it's you had some other kind of like did you ever play the Chronicles of Riddick or the Riddick game that came out?
I have the game, but I still haven't played it yet.
That's a really good adaptation for a movie. That's another example, but I'd kind of compare that to this where it's just like that, and it plays just like the movie, and it's just gorgeous.
You play the daughter of the main character, right?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, you play Ripley's daughter.
Yeah.
Sorry. Don't remember her name. Amanda, I think.
So do you like that game? Alien Isolation?
It's fucking terrifying, man.
Is it only just one alien
that I know of so far, and the few times I've encountered them, I've had to walk away, because as much as I love being scared by video games, I like to play them like dead at night with my my surround sound headphones on, and like it just terrifies me. But that's what I like about it. Like there's another Steam game called what is it? Five Nights at Freddy's or something.
Oh yeah, it's super popular with all the Let's Players and the
that
YouTubers.
game is terrifying. I tell you what, I played that with Aaron one time and I was like screaming, and we played it in the dark. That was the first and the second one.
But I just know that a lot of people prefer Silent Hill because it's more than just jump scares.
Yes,
I'm guessing you played Silent Hill 2.
I played most of them. The Room was really good. I know a lot of people didn't like The Room, and 3 was good too.
And I'm guessing you were bummed when they cancelled was it the 5th one?
You know what, they did that deal with Norman Reedus, and I was kind of like, it's kind of like Peter Dinklage is going around and doing all these things. Like they actually just announced that they're getting rid of his voice on Destiny and replacing it with Nolan North.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that was kind of an interesting move by the Destiny team. You've had this actor come in, do all these lines, and now you're just going to redo them and give them to Nolan North so we can keep it going.
But I don't think it's Peter Dinklage's fault. I think it was just horrible direction by the Destiny team.
Destiny, I've had this love-hate relationship with Destiny because I actually bought it when I had an Xbox One, and I played it with a friend, and it's basically an MMO first-person shooter. But the problem I have with it is it just seems so half-done, and the story was terrible. Excuse me, and they make you buy all these high-priced expansion packs that don't give you much. So it just, I don't know. It could have been good, but they just fell short on a lot of points.
Yeah, it's actually a game for some reason that I really wanted to try. I don't know why, but I don't have a next gen, or maybe I think it's current gen already now. I don't have a current gen console.
Which would you get?
So, say again.
Which would you get if you had the money right now?
Oh fuck. Does a Wii U count as a current gen?
You don't get a Wii U. Fuck off.
The fuck? Have you played a Wii U before?
I used to have a Wii U.
Did you buy any games for it?
Well, what are you going to do? Just play Mario Kart and every other Mario that comes out for the next 5 years?
There's Bayonetta 2.
Bayonetta 2.
There's an open world Zelda.
I just have this, once again, this love-hate relationship with Nintendo, because they could do some amazing stuff if they first off released a good hardware system. Because I didn't think that the Wii was great. I think it was just a better Wii, essentially.
Like a Wii add-on?
Yeah. That's basically what it was. Just plug this chip into your Wii and have this tablet, and that's the Wii U. If they could make like a system, have like the system specs of like a PS4 or an Xbox One, and then did things like open world Zeldas, or, you know, brought over some other ports, like if they could put The Witcher 3 on Nintendo, that would be awesome. But they just keep rehashing the same idea over and over again, and I think it's going to kill them eventually.
I have the 3DS, and I think the 3DS has a better library than the Wii U.
Yes,
currently.
3DS is an amazing system, I'll give it that. It's a great handheld.
Yeah, the reason why I actually think of getting a Wii U is because I already have a PC, and most of my gaming I already do on the PC, and the Nintendo machine is what gives me something different. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
If I get a PlayStation 4, there's a lot of ports that I can play on the PC.
Well, see, I have that's another problem I have, is like there's some days where I think like I'd really love to fire up my PlayStation 4, but I could be playing this on my computer, or then there's other days where I'm playing like Final Fantasy and I'm thinking, man, I could go play this on my PlayStation 4. But you are right, essentially you could play almost anything back and forth between what I have on my PlayStation 4 and what I have on my computer.
Yeah, and the Wii U just gives you a different experience. The Wii U is definitely the best at local multiplayer, so that's always been the strength of Nintendo.
If you've got a bunch of people that can come over and play with you, it's definitely the party system. But I do find that the multiplayer, whatever they use for their server hosting for the Wii U, just sucks.
Yeah, that's another thing. So definitely local multiplayer only if you want to have the best experience.
I mean, I still like Nintendo, don't get me wrong. It's just I think like they just need to do a few things different, and they'll be very, very competitive with PS4 and Xbox One.
Did you see all those people tweeting like, "Oh, finally Nintendo can move on after he passed away"? That's fucked up.
Yeah, that is fucked up. I mean, the guy basically led a generation and basically like got gamers the way that they are now. Like, how can you say those things about the guy or company?
And Nintendo's two best-selling consoles, the DS and the Wii, was under him. So yeah, fuck you.
yeah, fuck people who say that, seriously.
And he's always been known to be a gamer first. So that's one thing about Nintendo. They always it just feels like they really are gamers first, pretty much.
That is true, and you know, I'll say one thing about Nintendo is I've never really seen them put out a bad game. I mean, you look at all the Marios that come out, the Super Smash Bros, the Mario Karts, the Zeldas, they're all done. It's like Blizzard. They really polish and put out their games really well. They don't just half-ass shit and throw it out there and then have patches and updates.
Arkham Knight part. We're looking at you, bitch.
See,
I still haven't played that one. I didn't pre-order.
Is that still broken on PC?
I don't think you can buy any. I don't think you can buy it yet.
That's hilarious. Like, and here's what I didn't understand as a game company. How can you agree to release it on like a PC port and not have it be able to at least work?
The monies.
Even if you take out some features, I just don't understand how you can do that. It just blows my mind. But I don't know enough about the developing side to say certain things, but I'm pretty sure if they're giving you money to release this on another system, that you'd at least be able to make it playable.
No, they were thinking short term. Probably.
Just like Aaron. Oh.
He's probably gonna listen to this, right?
You know what? I'll be honest, he does not listen to a lot of podcasts. He's very...
Yeah, that's the funny thing about...
Yeah.
Shouldn't you be listening to podcasts if you're a podcaster?
It's all up to the person, man. I mean, he loves podcasting. I'll give him that, and that's why we have a podcast together. But unlike me, he does not like listening to them.
Okay, I think it's different. I think he likes to talk, but he doesn't like to listen to people.
Exactly. That's Aaron in a nutshell.
Yeah, pretty much,
I would be very surprised. Actually, you know what, Aaron? If you are listening to this, I got to think of something. If you are listening to this, I will pay for a night out of drinks, but only if you discover this.
Okay.
So there you go. If you do listen to this on your own, Aaron, night of drinks out on me. But I highly doubt he'll be listening.
Yeah. So, what were we talking about? First experience, right? Yeah, the PlayStation 1. So the PlayStation 1 was the one that really got me into gaming. With all the JRPGs and all the 3D worlds back then, when it was so... I just felt... Because as a kid, I never really felt... I only had like a few friends. A few really close friends, but I never felt that I really belonged. So gaming was my escape. Pretty much.
Yeah, I can agree to that.
And Final Fantasy VIII was probably one of my most favorite games of all time.
See, I'm actually...
Because it was my first Final Fantasy.
I'm going to work my way down, starting with 10. unfortunately. But I'm going to start 10 and work my way back through them.
You probably like 9 a lot. You probably like 8 because it's a bit different compared to the other Final Fantasies. You probably won't really like 7 because it's a bit overdone right now. Have you played 7 yet?
I've played 7
previously,
but I don't remember 7. And I always remember 7 being this like badass game. But when I go back and play it, like there's a game where I would say, to me at least, it's the graphics are kind of dated. At least
it is.
At least for me,
it's a 20-year-old game.
Like the game story and what it is awesome, but it just did not age well, in my opinion.
Yeah, because they went for the they tried with the realistic. I guess back then it was considered like real looking humans instead of a stylized. Games that with stylized art styles tend to age better, like Okami. Have you played Okami?
No.
So, do you know Okami?
What is it? Is it like Final Fantasy?
No, it's a PlayStation 2 game where you play the god of the sun or something. It's a wolf. Amaterasu is a Japanese god.
Okay.
So, it's a cel-shaded game. And seriously, if you can get it on the Vita, you should play it. It's a really good game. It's a third-person action-adventure game where you have the power to stop. When you stop time, the entire screen becomes like a canvas. And then you can draw stuff.
No way.
Yeah, it's really cool. It was ported on the Wii because obviously with the controller and all that. But I played it on the PS2. It's a really, really good game.
DM me how it's spelled later and I'll look it up.
Okay. Alright. And so the PlayStation 1 was the one that really got me into gaming. So I was talking about how gaming affected me as a kid. Because I was pretty secluded as a kid, I guess you can say that. So, have gaming affected you as a person or shaped your life? Do you think? Does it have that kind of impact on you?
I think that I enjoy video games, and I'll always be a fan of them. I did find that when I was younger, I would play them more. I think the first MMO I ever played was Star Wars Galaxies, which is still to this day, I think, one of the best MMOs that came out before they did the pre-World of Warcraft update to it. And then World of Warcraft came out and pretty much killed everything. But I remember just, bonding with friends, playing games like that, playing on Xbox, the original Xbox, playing Halo with a bunch of friends. That was really cool. And as I'm getting older, I find my gaming choices being more selective. But I do find that I get more bored because, I've got a few friends now, and now that I've kind of changed jobs and moved away from some people, like there isn't a lot of people that I know. But I'm enjoying doing more things now, like reading. I'm trying to write a book. I'm playing more music. But I still think sitting down and playing games for me is still something that I enjoy. How about yourself?
So, I'm not sure if it's... I always felt that gaming was probably one of the biggest thing about me. So, like, if somebody asks me, like, to define myself, video games will be somewhere in there. It's a bit hard to explain though. I'm not sure how I'll go to explaining it. It just make me feel. It's just that sense of escapism, basically.
Yeah, it's like life doesn't suck while I'm playing this video game.
Exactly. It felt. I felt very. How should I say this? Blissful, I guess, when I play video games. But it doesn't feel the same way now. I'm not sure about you. Does it feel like that to you? Like now when you're older, it's a bit different. Maybe because we're more cynical and pessimistic or something.
It takes a lot for a video game to make me feel blissful. Recent moment for me where I just really enjoyed playing a game was Rocket League. I don't know, you guys.
Yeah, everybody's been going on with it. Everybody's been talking about it.
I know Nathan went on an awesome rant about it, which is one of the few I agree with him on. But Rocket League is fucking fantastic. And if anybody listening hasn't tried it yet, especially if you're a PlayStation owner, go get it because it's free on PlayStation right now. You will not have more fun playing a game than that game that is currently out.
It's free on PlayStation Plus, right?
Yeah, they gave it away as a Plus game. And I think on Steam you have to pay like $20, but it's totally worth it. I would drop $20 again to play it on Steam, just to play with Nathan and beat him.
Are you playing it on? Oh, you're not playing it on Steam?
No, I'm playing it on PS4.
Ah. So, I think that's a very good example of a game done well while you simplify everything.
And it's a simple game.
Like
it's soccer with
Yeah,
cars.
it is.
That's it. It's
much.
just soccer.
And it does what it does well.
Me and my friend were playing the other night, and they're 5-minute games. Have you tried this game at all yet?
Rocket League?
Yeah.
I have not.
Okay.
I'm still waiting to get it on Steam.
So 5-minute games, which I love. I love the time, by the way. The time is awesome. We're losing 3-0, and with 45 seconds left, I score our first goal. With 15 seconds left, I score our second goal. 3 seconds left, I score our third goal, and then I win it for us in overtime. Me and my friend lost our shit. Like, it was another cool gaming moment where, like, you know, you're down and out, and you literally score 3 goals in a minute, and it was like just crazy amounts of fun.
That's crazy. You play it online.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because
there's no local multiplayer, right?
there is, but I just don't have any local to play with.
That sounds crazy. Was it a 3-on-3? 2-on-2?
It was a 3-on-3. So
I think I need to try. I think I need to get it.
Get it, man.
Now.
Trust. Just bite the bullet and do it. Can you gift games on Steam?
You can, but there's this regional stuff that you need to consider.
So if I get your gamer tag, I could gift it to you, is what you're saying?
Well, technically you can, but I'm not sure because Steam has those regional DRMs.
Yeah.
Because each region has its own pricing.
Oh, yes, yes.
So because back then, I think people were buying like Russian keys because they were so much cheaper compared to like US dollars or whatever. And I think Steam just like cracked down on that. They put this regional stuff. So if I'm not mistaken, games that you buy in Malaysia, you can only activate it in Southeast Asia and maybe a couple of parts in Asia. So I'm guessing if I move to the US or Canada, I probably need to rebuild my Steam library. That's why I understand though. I'm not sure if it's true.
Wow.
So I'm not sure how gifting works. Well, it should. I mean, Rocket League in Canada should be more expensive than in Malaysia, so I don't think there's a problem with that. I'm not sure.
I don't know. We'll have to see. But it'd be cool to get, like I said, get a whole game going and just play. I think that's another currently thing to kind of backtrack is, as I'm getting older, I like to play games with people. I usually don't find gaming fun unless I'm playing with somebody.
Yeah, like, actually it's same with me. I'm like playing Payday 2, like I said. I just like playing with people, but last time I'm totally fine playing alone. Back then as a kid.
Well, what time is it? Isn't it like 3 a.m. there?
Say that again.
What time is it there right now?
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh, it's 10 a.m.
Oh, okay. I thought you were recording like extremely late, but that's kind of cool. That it's only 10 a.m. So, and it's Saturday for there, and you have do you not work weekends?
No, I don't work weekends.
Yes. All right. We got more gaming partners, people. We're going to get this going.
Do you work weekends? You don't, right?
I don't. I work a Monday to Friday job.
Do you mind if I ask what you do?
I basically manage a warehouse. And by manage, I mean do everything. So basically, like, this kind of main location where I run the warehouse, we've got retail stores across Canada. And I basically get an order from Ottawa, say. I've got to pick it all, ship it out. And then any product that comes in, I have to receive and put away. And that's pretty much it.
So, like, what kind of stuff does the warehouse hold?
It's a cleaning company, so there's tons of chemical, vacuums, dehumidifiers, air movers, brooms, mops, like anything you can think of. And
do you have to wear like protective clothing and stuff like that all the time?
No, I even asked him that the first day I was there, my boss, and there's nothing we have that we sell that's considered corrosive or you know that you need that kind of stuff. So
no gas masks, anything? No.
Oh, we do sell gas masks, but I don't have to wear them when I work. Is essentially what I'm saying.
Okay.
But it is cool to see, like, you know, if a zombie outbreak happens, I can just run upstairs and grab a respirator.
So, yeah, that's another thing I wanted to ask. Like, gaming habits when we're getting older, it just changes, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it because of a lack of time?
Well,
or is it because we feel the magic is gone?
Well,
because we are impressionable as kids.
I still find magic in games. Don't get me wrong. And I think I hunt for that a lot with games, and maybe that's why I try to, when I do buy games, I'm more selective, but I'm still trying to find that magic in them to kind of captivate me and pull me in. And I think that's very rare when it does happen. Like that happened with Alien Isolation, that happened with Rocket League. It happened huge in Persona 4 for me. It's happening again right now with Final Fantasy X, even though Titus is still a bitch. But it really sucks right now, like when you do spend X amount of money on a game and you plug it in and it's just not fun. And that really sucks, to me at least, is you've spent this part of money that either you set aside for gaming or just blowing whatever you want, and the game just sucks and you're not enjoying it. And that's hard, because games are a very magical thing. And that's essentially what I like to try to find, is the magic back in gaming. But
and I guess when you say it's not fun, you don't mean the game is bad, right?
I guess that's true. Like I'll once again point back to The Witcher. Is the game bad? Good majority of people seem to think that it's a good game, or very positive. Like if you look at Steam or just even game reviews, is it a bad game? No, and there is parts in that enchant me, but there is some times where I do want to stop playing it because it just feels like a video game. It doesn't suck me in and capture me.
Do you follow this YouTube channel called Game Theorists?
I really should do more with YouTube, but I don't, unfortunately.
So what he does is he analyzes games. So he mentioned before, he doesn't have a video on this, but he mentioned that he actually has a theory that your favorite Final Fantasy is the first Final Fantasy that you played. So maybe nostalgia plays a big part. As a kid, everything was like the first time for us. And now it's like, I've seen this before. We've done this already. It's just different skins, different worlds, same stuff to do.
You know what? That's very true. I mean, you look at World of Warcraft. I remember I got into beta for that like 10, 11 years ago. And I played all the way up until Pandaria. And I still come back and come back and come back. And maybe it's because I want to try to recapture that kind of obsessive good feeling when I played it. And like I said, I'm recently doing it just because a friend plays it, and I'm trying to at least try to spend some time with them that way. But that's another example about how you can try to get that feeling back for something that it was. Maybe it's like a relationship in girls, your ex dumps you and you keep trying to work things out and call them, but it's just not the same as what it once was.
Yeah,
there you go, Diamond Dave's deepness for the evening.
So I just wanted to ask, anything else recently that you feel magical about the games? I mean,
for gaming,
yeah,
I feel like
recent games.
I think gaming can come back in a strong way. Like I read a couple articles saying that like this is another golden age back for the PlayStation 4 and for for Xbox gaming and that. And like I recently read an article on Reddit today saying that they might remake Knights of the Old Republic for Xbox.
Cool.
Which would be
nice.
Amazing. If they just kept it the same, updated it, maybe added a couple more side quests in that and just like released it, because that would be cool. I think that you can finally do more things with gaming now, but I think people are trying to make them like bigger and better. Like, did you read that thing with the new Fallout where you can beat the game and put like something crazy like 300 hours into it and you're still not done the game?
Yeah.
Do people really want that type of game where they can just get lost in it forever?
I guess they do. You've seen people playing like 1,000 hours of Skyrim.
Oh, I love that's another thing. Do you think Nathan's going to listen to this?
I'm not sure.
Nathan, if you do, I fucking love Skyrim. Skyrim is one of the best games that was ever made. So meh. But I will say this too. Did you know? Does Nathan does he host his league matches?
I'm not sure that I don't.
Because I'd love to see him play. Like, I think it'd be cool.
He has a Twitch.
Yeah, like if he has a Twitch thing that does league, I'd love to watch him play sometime.
I think most of the time he only streams League of Legends, but he said he's taking a break for a while playing Rocket League.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But I loved Skyrim. I absolutely loved Skyrim. I didn't find anything wrong with it. I liked how immersive you got. That's another game that I really loved, actually. The questing system I thought was brilliant. The story was brilliant. and it's just another world I got lost in. Like, I spent hours just wandering around when they put that house expansion out. I must have spent like 50 fucking hours building my goddamn house. Just my house. Moving stuff around, putting swords on walls, stuff like that. Like, that was really cool to me. But here's another example. When you take like the magic of a game like that I really enjoyed, and then you look at somebody like Nathan per se that just didn't like it for certain things. And, you know, games are a lot like books. You know, somebody could like completely love Game of Thrones, but then somebody else could go, meh, I'm more of an Agatha Christie guy or something. Or girl.
So did you like vanilla Skyrim?
Vanilla?
Yeah, so like without all the mods.
I didn't... Do you mean besides expansions?
Yeah, besides expansion. Yeah. Did you play it on a PC?
Yeah, I played it on PC. No mods, just expansions.
You didn't mod the game at all?
Did not mod the game at all.
If you modded the game, you probably put in another double time.
That's what I've heard.
I guess.
And that scares me. Oh man, that was another... See, talking to you, I remember all these cool games. Have you played FTL?
Yeah, I played. It's so fucking hard.
Oh, the game is... Oh, it's brutal. But that's another example. You could sink many hours into it, but it's not an hour immersive game to get somewhere. It's just throw this on, see if you can beat it. You screw up, go back, try again. Go back, try again.
Has anybody beaten the game before?
I don't know. And if you do, please tell us. Please tell us. And I will treat you to a night of drinking, listener.
If you're in Canada.
If you're in Canada, I guess.
Where exactly?
I live in Calgary, Alberta.
You keep saying it's a small town or something, right?
It's not a small town. Calgary's pretty big. It should be the capital of Alberta, but the capital's actually Edmonton. But it's I could be wrong here. I think we've got like, it's either somewhere between 1.3 and 3 million people.
Oh, that's pretty huge.
Yeah, it's not a small town in any way, shape, or form. But I mean,
but you say it was boring?
I find Calgary. Well, here's the thing. I live here. And, like, I want to get into do more outdoor stuff because, I mean, in Calgary, you know, we've got the mountains that are just, you know, over there. You know, we've got a lot of beautiful stuff to do and see. But, I mean, most of the people that I know or knew like to go to raves or nightclubs, you know, and that's just not my thing. Like, I like going to a bar, having conversation, playing pool, you know, do some some fun stuff, not take some ecstasy and go listen to you know, just
I passed that stage like many years ago.
I passed it early, man. I did not get into that at all. I just don't like it.
I didn't. Yeah, I never really liked it. I mean, I went with whenever my friends asked me to go, but I never really. Man, I prefer a quiet bar just to sit down and talk.
Me too. See, we're kindred spirits.
But it's very difficult to find in Malaysia.
Every
fucking place is playing loud music. Even if it's a bar, it's playing fucking loud music.
What do people do there? Like, what's people's idea of having fun?
Well, I'm in the capital city of the country, so there is a nightlife here. There's quite a lot of places where there's a lot of bars and clubs. But like I said, the clubs play loud music, but the bars also play loud music. So it's very difficult to have a conversation at a quiet bar. I don't think there is a quiet bar over here, unless there's just nobody around. But we actually like to drink coffee at night.
Wow, that's awesome.
We have a lot of cafes. Here. Cafes where you eat.
I wonder if that's why
and drink coffee.
Meow God's up so late.
Maybe.
Or seemingly.
He's Malaysian, right?
Yeah, he's in Malaysia too.
Maybe.
You two are like the only two Malaysians I know, is you and Meow God.
Your dad said his company has a factory here somewhere, Penang.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, but... So what does your dad do?
He's an engineer, mechanical engineer.
So he owns a company?
He doesn't own the company. He's just he's a senior manager in the company.
And the company has a factory here. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And they actually they did the Xbox One.
What?
Yeah. My dad...
They manufactured the Xbox One?
Yeah, my dad actually worked on and produced the Xbox One.
Sweet.
Yeah, not fucking around.
Did you guys get free Xbox Ones?
No, they didn't get anything free, unfortunately.
What the fuck?
But I mean, he got to be part of that. He got to work on and he actually, I think he originally had to send like developers like the Xbox kits where it's just the components in it so you could build games to it. and then you have to resend
yeah.
the developers like an updated kit, and then the final product that was pushed out. And yeah, it's kind of cool.
So did he work on the Kinect?
Yes, he did actually.
But what exactly when you say he worked on the Xbox One, what exactly did he do? Like design the thing?
Well, how I understand it, and he could probably tell you better, is basically like, let's say you go to my dad's company and you say, I want to make this pencil, but I want to make it and distribute it to the world. Well, my dad will take a look at your pencil. This is a terrible like euphemism, so I'm sorry, but we're just gonna keep rolling with it. My dad will look at your pencil and basically like take a look at the design and see like if it's what you want and if it's how you want to make it, and then he'll basically adapt a strategy to mass produce it. So he'll have to figure out like the amount of materials that you'll need if you want to make like 1 million or 2 million units. The floor space that you have to set up the equipment in, what equipment you need, and then if you're setting up over in China, he'll have to go to China and like look if they're setting things up right over there. So basically, like he's responsible for behind the scenes making it happen. Like he didn't take a look at the Kinect and say like, okay, this laser goes here. He basically made sure that it was all working and it was all functional and it could be ready for mass production.
So the company that your dad's working for was contracted to pretty much manufacture the thing.
Yeah. So Microsoft, from what I understand, basically went to my dad's company and said like, we want to produce the Xbox One, and my dad's company was like, yeah, okay, let's do it, and they did it.
That's cool.
And he says there's crazy stuff that he can't talk about. Like he can't even mention it, which sucks. But he says like there's so many cool things that I have to basically work on, but can't
hush.
Yeah, hush that I can't, that don't get put into development or don't get the green light that are coming up, like futuristic stuff. But he can't talk about it. He hasn't even told me about it.
Is he working on the HoloLens?
I don't know. He's never said. Maybe have him on and maybe you can break it out of him.
I doubt it. He sounds like a stern.
No, it's crazy stuff if you think about it. Like think if you're head of manufacturing for, let's say, Microsoft, and they come to you and they say, here's some holographic equipment that's going to change humanity within the next 5 years, and we want you to produce it, but you can't talk about it. But now we're going to cancel it. It would just be crazy. I can't even imagine the stuff that he's probably seen.
It's funny that you mentioned earlier, just to backtrack, you mentioned about you mentioned some of the recent games that you felt was really, really good and you managed to immerse yourself.
Yep.
Like Alien Isolation. What was it? Is it Persona 4? Did you play Persona 4 recently or something? On the Vita?
I played it 1.5 years ago, but I want to replay it now.
Yeah, the Persona 4, Final Fantasy X, and I'm not sure if I'm missing anything else.
I do have a 3DS, Pokemon.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fire Emblem Awakening was really fucking good. That was
okay. I have that. I still haven't played that.
Play it, dude. It's an awesome game. It is really good.
I have so much stuff to play.
I know that's another problem. Is I get home and I look between my PlayStation 4, and I don't have that many games for my PlayStation 4. Like I've got The Witcher 3, I've got Rocket League, I've got Transistor, Bastion, and Tomb Raider. And it's like, well, I could play one of those, or I could play one of the 40 million games I have on Steam, or I could play Hero of the Storm, or I could play World of Warcraft, and then I just sit here and don't know what to play for like an hour. And then I go get another beer.
Same thing here. I'll be looking at like, I really should be playing the 3DS again. But then I look at, maybe I'll play some Payday 2. Maybe I'll play some Smite. Fuck it. And I'll just go on YouTube and then go to sleep.
Well, do you know what I do is I at least set aside an hour in the evening to play my Vita. And I actually take it to work and play it on my breaks, but I set aside an hour before reading to play it. So at least I know I'm setting aside some time for that. And what I might start doing is maybe like saying, okay, I'm gonna devote this much time to the PC, or maybe play Rocket League for this much time, and try to like separate my time so it's not like I'm gonna play 4 hours of World of Warcraft.
That's the funny thing. I actually have phases. So like earlier this year, was it? Maybe late last year, I was really playing exclusively on the 3DS. I was playing like Pokemon X and Y. I played Pokemon X, and I played like Professor Layton. I played then the latest Phoenix Wright. Because the DS, did you have a DS? The DS Lite, the first one?
I did.
That's my favorite gaming console of all time.
Like I said, Nintendo. I like the Vita. I like the amount of games that they have on the Vita. It is I think a lot of more mature titles. But I mean, you look at what the 3DS and the DS has going for it, and it's got a killer library.
Yeah.
Like it is one of the reasons to have a handheld. And the only reason why I like playing my Vita more than my 3DS is just because of the titles that I can play on my Vita. And actually, I got the new Vita. I think it's the Slim or the Lite one they released with the Borderlands package.
So you have Borderlands?
I have it on Vita, but it's unplayable. Like I installed it and played 3 levels, and I had to delete it.
Why?
It's unplayable.
What's wrong with it?
It's just unplayable on the Vita. First off, the frame rate is garbage. Like it's just terrible. Like it doesn't even run at 30 frames per second.
How's the feel of you?
That's terrible too. And it's the other problem I have with it is the controls with first person shooter on the Vita. You know, because you've got the 2 sticks just over top. You're playing down on it. I just can't use it. Like it just drives me mental.
Haven't you played first person shooters before on your consoles?
Oh no, I have. And on consoles they're fine. Like I can play a first person shooter on my PlayStation 4 on my computer with a game controller, but I try to do it on my Vita. I can't do it. Like it does not work for me.
Because you're holding the screen as well, so it just feels weird.
Exactly. But the biggest problem was just the frame rate for me and the controls. There's nothing wrong with Borderlands 2. It's a fantastic game.
The Vita, I've always wanted to get a Vita just for the JRPGs, but like I said earlier, I'm just not sure what library it has. Like what games I want to play, like Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy X-2. A lot of the games I want to play are like re-releases, so I'm not sure if it's available or not.
If I have to go to a pawn store here and pick up a used Vita for you and mail it to you just so you can play Persona 4, I will do that. Because Persona...
Are you made of money or something?
Well, currently I am. A little bit. Come on, I'm a single guy. My rent is extremely cheap. I've got no debts. I've got more than my fair share of money.
But beer is expensive, right?
Beer is expensive. It's very, very expensive.
Is it alcohol is expensive or just beer is expensive?
All alcohol in Canada is expensive.
And why is that?
Most
they have some kind of separate alcohol tax or something?
Mostly tax.
But don't you have tax on all your consumer goods?
Yes, but the tax on alcohol is even higher.
So it is a separate alcohol tax, right? Ugh. Is it to make sure people don't drink too much?
Well, you could raise alcohol prices to whatever you want. People are still going to drink. I just think it's the government's way of making money. I mean, they need to decrease the deficit or give money to something else. They just say, okay, we're gonna bump up alcohol taxes by another, I don't know, 10 cents per bottle or another 30 cents per bottle. And then we're going to use that money to go here. Because you got to remember, Canada doesn't have a big population. Like, I think we're just about the size of Texas. If you take all our population and just shove it in one place.
How many people is that?
I honestly don't know what the population of Canada is, to be honest with you. But I know you can take it all and you can shove it basically into almost one state. And that one state being Texas, and that's it. Because most of our population lives along the U.S. border, right? Because that's where it's, the warmest and... you go north. Like I remember one winter in Calgary when it got down to minus 40.
What? Yeah. Oh, you mean Fahrenheit, right?
No, Celsius.
Minus 40 Celsius.
But actually, that would be minus 40 Fahrenheit because minus 32 Fahrenheit and minus 32 Celsius are the same thing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So think about that. Minus 40. Do you know how cold that is? When you're
I'm being from a country near the equator. We have a tropical kind of weather. I think you prefer tropical weather, right?
Well, you know what? The problem is I'm climatized, right? So like if it gets up to 20 degrees in Calgary, it's hot and I sweat. But if it sits around 10 degrees, 0, minus 10, that's comfortable.
Okay, 16 for me is cold.
Yeah, you would die here. You wouldn't be able to survive.
Probably. Yeah.
But minus 40, man. Your jacket turns to plastic. Like your winter jacket literally turns to plastic. And the moisture coming off your face just instantly freezes to you. Like that's when you
Fuck.
see like the beards of frost or your nostrils freezing up. That's that kind of cold.
So that's real? That's
It's
that's
it's
a real thing?
real cold, man. I'm telling you. And that's when I don't like the cold, is when it's below -30. I can do up to minus 25. I'm okay with, but anything after that, it's just cold.
Oh yeah, one thing. If you have a PlayStation Network account, right, to buy all the games?
Yep.
Don't you just use the don't you just use an American address so you can don't pay any taxes? Maybe you can put a address from Oregon or something where they don't pay taxes on games. Do you do that?
No, because I'd still have to pay the Canadian exchange on it. So and like I said,
Oh yeah.
I'm really more selective with my gaming. Like I say, that's why I don't mind reactivating WoW, because I mean for like $14, you can basically play for as long or whatever you want. Where let's go say I try to go buy Arkham Knight right now and it's like $60-$70. And let's say like I play a bit of it and then it just sits on my shelf. That would just drive me mental, because it's wasted money, right? I could spend that on beer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. How much is a 6-pack over there?
I actually just bought a 6-pack the other day and it was $15.
Ah. How much is it in the US?
Like $6 or $7.
The fuck?
Yeah.
$1 a can?
Basically. See, and that's the difference in our taxes and our economy.
Okay, that's crazy.
But it doesn't stop me from drinking, man. It doesn't stop me.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah. I mean, like, you can see the same thing with cigarettes. It's been going up in prices, I'm guessing, over there too.
Oh yeah.
It is here.
Yeah,
yeah, but everybody's still smoking.
Well, that's the thing, is you can increase stuff as much as you want. People are still going to buy it. They'll bitch and moan about it. It's like gas. You know, gas goes up in price. Everybody complains, but you're still going to buy gas.
But they still have to get it, yeah.
If you're a smoker,
Still have to
you'll
get it.
complain, but you're still going to go buy your cigarettes, right?
So, how did we get all the way here again?
How do I what?
How did we get to talking about all this kind of stuff?
Well, I don't know. It's just like, because you live far away and I live far away, and I assume you've never been to Canada. I've never been to Malaysia.
Yeah.
It's just questions.
I've never been there.
Questions about like how the world works on the other side of the world.
Yeah, if you come here, I can definitely show you around, man.
I actually just found out that shipping a giraffe to Malaysia is not that expensive.
How much is it?
It's like $20.
Oh yeah, so $20 would be 60 ringgit here. 60 ringgit, yeah. That can get you about 2 full pints at a bar.
That's ridiculous, man. I'm not going to Malaysia.
Yeah, it is pretty expensive. Alcohol is... We also have like an separate alcohol tax, but it's not paid by us, it's paid by the suppliers, which in the end is going to be put into the price.
Yeah.
So yeah, same shit.
But I'll have to send you a little giraffe from Podcast Without Borders.
Okay, so when I started listening to you, I think you were at episode 16, 18, maybe? You have like what, 25 episodes now?
I think around there, yeah.
So I started like a couple of months ago. So I still don't really get this giraffe thing that you guys do.
The giraffe is essentially our mascot. And it kind of started as a joke on a former podcast. And it spiraled into me thinking... Well, actually, the way it really came about is Aaron, when we started recording, he talks with his hands. So every time we'd podcast, he would, to explain his point, he would tap on the desk like that. And he would keep doing it, and doing it, and doing it. So I took him to Toys R Us one day, and I took him to the plushie aisle, and I picked up a giraffe, gave it to him, paid for it, and said, when we record, you're going to hold on to this fucking giraffe so you don't tap the table. And he did. And it essentially cured his tapping. And when people used to see pictures of it, they said, oh, that's so cool. So we kind of take pictures of the giraffe with things. And I eventually, because we don't have any merchandise, I thought, well, I'll just send people giraffes. And that's how it kind of turned into this crazy marketing thing where our podcast is known for giraffes.
So you don't send the one that Aaron has, right?
No, that's Aaron's giraffe. But like I said, anybody can get one. I get them at Toys R Us. And I just basically pick them up. They actually give me a discount because I usually buy them in bulk, and then I just ship them out.
Because I was thinking that you were moving the same giraffe around. That was I was thinking.
See, that is a cool idea, but I think it'd be cool if everyone had their own giraffe.
Yeah. Then you get to keep it as a memento.
Yeah. So hopefully I'll send one, to Meow God, and I'll send one to you.
Awesome. Okay, so just to backtrack again, just to let you know what are the recent games that I felt was really good. Far Cry 3 and
Yes.
Dishonored.
Yes, both great games.
I think they came out in 2012. I know Nathan hates Dishonored. Maybe not hate. Hate is a strong word, but he uses it all the time. But
How can you hate Dishonored? Come on, man.
I mean, it's so cool that you can blink behind a guy and then stab him in the neck. I mean, I don't remember any other game letting me do that.
I don't hate Nathan. I think Nathan's a great guy, and I really think he brings an awesome element to your podcast.
Oh yeah, he does.
And I think that's cool that you can have somebody that, stands up and firmly either agrees or disagrees and gives you, pretty good opinions on why he disagrees. But sometimes I just don't agree with them, like Dishonored and Skyrim. And here's the storm. But that's just me. I've got my own separate opinions, but that, like I said, going back, games are like books. You may like blinking behind somebody and stabbing somebody in the neck, and he might just like playing League of Legends. It's all good, and it's all part of the same machine.
Oh yeah. So did you play when it came out, Dishonored?
I did, and I actually, same thing, picked it up on Steam for like $5, which is why I love Steam.
Yeah.
And I have it still, and I think I got the curse of I'd start playing something, get really into it, kind of pause, play something else, and just forget about it. Because Dishonored was really good, Far Cry 3 was really good, but I never beat them.
Okay, so when I say I really like those games, and it felt very, I don't want to say magical. There's nothing magical about stabbing somebody in the neck, but
oh yes, there is.
you can do that in Far Cry 3 too. I remember you can stab the guy in the neck. You know the melee sequences. So
yeah,
those two games I played from start to end, like just those games with a few breaks here and there. But I never played any other story-driven games. Only those two games I finished start to end. So to me, that means I really enjoyed it.
And that's one other thing that I'll give credit to your podcast about is, sometimes when I listen to your show, I'm like, I'm going to go home and play this and just have a fun time doing it tonight. And I do. And it's all because of the little podcast that you do.
So like we talk about games that you haven't finished or something?
Just gaming in general. Like just listening to, like you talking about, playing Mercenary Kings or, Nathan talking about Final Fantasy or Nathan talking about League of Legends just really makes me kind of, without playing them, fall in love with gaming again. And that's why I love the playonultra podcast.
That's awesome.
So keep doing what you're doing, man, seriously, because you're doing a good job.
Thank you. And I really enjoy your podcast too. It's like I can't go a week without your podcast.
See, I don't understand why people like our podcast, because we just get drunk and just talk about anything for an hour. But I really like the chemistry that I have with my partner, and I just like talking to people. Like you'll see when you come on, like we just literally shoot the shit for an hour and a half or 2 hours and just have fun. And that's what it's all about to us. It's just having this experience with somebody else and just having a conversation. Like it's not a formal conversation like the Stranger Conversations or Podcast Digest. But I think we just like to have fun and make our guests feel like they're having fun and just have a good time.
Yeah, and I think since your guests are also podcasters, they have their own fan base. And I think, like fans always like to know more about the people they're following. So
Yeah.
that's a part of it, I think. And the chemistry between you and Aaron, it's when the hosts have chemistry, you can definitely follow a podcast properly. But if you don't have chemistry, you'll probably just shut it off in the first 10 minutes or something like that.
You nailed it. And I mean, you know firsthand what it's like when you don't have chemistry with some people and how it works. But you know right away how a show is going to go and what's going to happen when you talk to people.
Yeah.
But I think like I said, we just recorded with a friend of ours, and I'd say the podcast went, in my opinion, okay. Like it was still fun to sit down and talk to him. But because we're doing a non-podcaster month, he's not used to getting in front of a mic and talking like this, right?
Ah, okay.
So when I remember the first time I sat down with a mic, I was very quiet and didn't know how to talk. Where now I can plug in and I can talk to you like we were sitting in the same room, essentially. But he didn't have those skills. So it was a very kind of quiet, awkward conversation on his end, but I'm still glad he did it.
So is this the one you recorded on Thursday?
Yeah, that one's coming out on this Monday, and he's a really big gamer. He's the one that actually got me into Persona 4.
Okay.
He's a hardcore game addict, and he plays an unreal amount of Final Fantasy.
Is he the Payday 2 guy?
No, that's my other friend. He played Payday 2, but he didn't like it.
You see, that's the thing. I don't have any friends to play games with. That's the reason why I still haven't gotten a Wii U. Although I understand that the Wii U will definitely be fun even for non-gamers, because it is. I've seen like non-gamers play the Wii U and just having fun with it. It's just that people who are not gamers, they don't necessarily will put aside time to play games because it's just not part of their schedule.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be difficult to find people to play with.
Well, you got me, man. I know our schedules hasn't crossed quite yet, and
yeah, we should try to do something this weekend.
I'm down. I'm gonna take my computer apart and get it fixed tonight. I'm hoping I do. And I got some podcasting stuff to do this weekend, but I'll definitely try my best to see if we can work something out.
So, actually, a PS4 is also something I really want to get. I've always had a PlayStation 1 up to PlayStation 3. So 1, 2, 3, I'm feeling of continuing that trend, just because they mentioned that they're gonna do Ratchet and Clank. Have you played Ratchet and Clank?
I never played Ratchet and Clank.
Have you played you had an N64, right?
Yeah.
Did you play Banjo-Kazooie?
Yeah, I did. That was an awesome game.
So it's pretty much Banjo-Kazooie with more combat, essentially.
And they got No Man's Sky coming up pretty soon.
Oh yeah, but that's on the PC. I'm probably gonna get that on the PC. If it's as good as they say it is.
I haven't watched any of the updates. I know IGN's posted a few, but it kind of seems interesting that you've created this huge, like, and that's an understatement, but this huge universe of planets that you could go days without seeing anybody. But I'm kind of curious as to what other element there is to the game besides just flying around and, like...
I think a game being too big can be a detriment as well.
Yeah. It's
too much empty space.
Scope can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. One game I have a hard time loving, but I know is a good game, is EVE Online. Did you ever hear about that one?
I've never played it. I know what it is, and that is why I never played it. They say it's the spreadsheet simulator. So.
That's basically what it is spreadsheet simulator 2000 and whatever. But it's a big game, but there's a lot that you can do in it, and if you get immersed in the community and kind of the storyline and kind of get into almost a role-playing element into it a bit, like it's an amazing game. You can have a lot of fun with it. But that's what I've been really really craving is just a good space game, but I haven't found anything that's delivered it.
There's one called Elite Dangerous. You heard of it?
No, I've never heard of that one.
That one's pretty hot right now. You should check it out.
Dangerous.
Elite Dangerous. I think it's an MMO. I'm not too sure.
DM me that one and DM me that PS2 game for Vita you were talking about.
Oh yeah. Hopefully it's on the Vita. I'm pretty sure you're gonna like it.
I will definitely try. And if not, I'll blame Nathan. I'm just kidding. I love you, Nathan. I hope he doesn't hate me if he listens to this.
I don't think he'll hate you. He'll probably hate the games that you play, but I don't think he'll hate you.
I do really want to check out his channel though and watch him play League, because I gotta give credit to people who can play League of Legends at a competitive level, man, because that game is not easy at all to play or master. And if you can get that high up and still enjoy it and be competitive, it takes a lot of skill, tremendous amounts of skill.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. I just wanted to say, do you know Nuvem? Nuvem.
No.
Okay, so it's a Brazilian game retailer, and a lot of people like to buy the keys from there because it's cheaper than USD.
Okay.
Some games are regionally locked only for Latin America, but quite a lot of games are actually available worldwide. So they are running like a promo. So it's a Hideo Kojima promo. And they're selling Metal Gear Solid 5 at 25% off. I just find it ironic since Konami doesn't want Hideo Kojima to do anything with them anymore. I just find it funny.
That's another game series I never played, was Metal Gear Solid.
Is there any games on the Vita? I think they re-released the first and second one, I believe.
I've tried to go back and play the first one, because I played the first one on PlayStation 1, or was it 2? one of the two.
One. Yeah.
One, and that was a great game back in the day. But I try to play it now, and it's just hard
Because of the shitty camera controls and everything.
Yeah. But that was a good game too back.
Yeah,
in
it
the
is
day.
a good game. My favorite was probably Metal Gear Solid 3. I think I didn't finish it.
3 was good,
but it was my favorite. I was thinking of getting on the 3DS, but I'm not sure if the controls would work.
Getting a 3DS?
Getting the Metal Gear Solid 3 on the 3DS?
Oh, getting it on the 3DS. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never played it on that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I don't think it works well. I'm not too sure. I haven't tried it yet. But mine is the normal 3DS, so it doesn't have the right analog stick thing. Whatever that is. So
yeah, like the auxiliary stick.
Yeah. So I just I don't know, but I finished Metal Gear Solid 4 and 2. 4 was okay, but 3 was the best, I think. Currently, I'm quite interested to see how they do open world in the 5th one.
Seems like that's what everyone's going to, man, is open world. Everyone's going open world.
Yeah, that's the thing. But if you keep doing everything open world and you just put a bunch of stuff to do in it, sometimes it gets boring. Like Grand Theft Auto 5, it was a good game. It was definitely a good game. But I felt that there's just an open world with stuff to do, but there's no real meaning to it. That's why I still prefer GTA Vice City.
Yeah, you need organized chaos essentially. Like I think it's cool if you can implement a game where like GTA where you can. I'm gonna go play pool. I'm gonna go swim in a pool. I'm gonna have bitches in the pool. I'm gonna go watch bitches at a strip club. I'm gonna have bitches on an airplane that I can then crash into a cop car. That's kind of cool. But if you make this huge open world and you can only go do like some quests here and there, and not really explore like more possibilities as to what you can do, then I don't know. It just gets it gets kind of I think it's more of a selling feature to just say that we've got an open world, like this huge open world, but there's nothing to do in it.
That's definitely the trend now. That's definitely the trend. Open world. And I was reading this article about The Witcher 3, basically saying The Witcher 3 is doing open world the right way, where it's a huge place for you to explore. There's a bunch of things to do, but all the small little things can actually affect everything else. So that's what I heard. That is why I'm actually thinking of getting the third one, even though I didn't really enjoy the first or second one. Because it just seems very immersive to me.
I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to fire The Witcher back up, and I'm just going to turn the gameplay to easy and just play it.
I would prefer if they gave us a what you call that, an option to skip the combat, because there was an article that mentioned giving the player the option to skip cutscenes. Maybe you should give the player an option to skip combat.
I could agree to that, or even if you were to go into combat. Like it could be kind of a scripted combat where maybe you don't necessarily control it, but it looks cooler, like almost like a fight
cinematic combat kind of thing.
Yeah, or maybe like in God of War, when you go to fight something, it pulls
the QTE
up like
and stuff.
The hotkeys that you can just press at certain times. That would be cool. But I'm gonna fire it back and try it because, like I said, it is really something I want to beat, and I just feel like maybe I should try to give it another shot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just really want to try it, but I'm just afraid that I'll waste my money. Pretty much.
Yeah, so you're like me, where you're worried about wasting your money.
Yep. I mean, who isn't, right?
That's why I kind of limit myself to like more so one game a month, like maybe one expensive game a month. But
so Rocket League don't count, right?
Well, that doesn't count. But like I've there's nothing currently I want to go out and buy. Like I've debated on getting Fantasy or Destiny, but I could go without it because I've got enough right now to entertain myself. But there's nothing. Maybe Batman, but that's
for the PlayStation 4. You mean?
Yeah. Where I could easily spend $10 and I could go to Chapters and I could pick up a book and I could read that, and that gives me 40 times million more enjoyment than playing any video game. But that's just me, because I'm a reader.
What are you reading right now?
I just finished Ready Player One. Which
how do you like it?
It was a really good book, and if you play video games, even if you don't play video games, go pick it up. Like you should definitely read it. I think you'd really enjoy it.
I think Jonathan says it's a bit slow for him. I mean, the part where he gets into it is a bit slow. He's not getting there yet.
Like all books, it sometimes has a slow part, but I thought the whole book itself was just a magical experience.
They recently announced that Steven Spielberg is gonna do a cinematic adaptation, right?
That's awesome. That's really cool. I can't wait to see what he brings out of that.
I'm more of a movie guy. I mean, like, I don't even read comics and stuff, but I watch all the movies. It's not because I don't like to read comics, it's because it's so freaking expensive over here.
Are you I know you're Asian, but do you like anime?
Oh yeah. I mean,
okay.
What geek nerd doesn't like anime?
Have you heard of the Knights of Sidonia?
Knights of Sidonia seems familiar, but I don't remember watching it. It's an anime, right?
Do you have Netflix over there?
Oh no. Netflix is only in Australia and a few other countries. They like to skip Malaysia a lot. Pretty much, we don't get shit here.
Well, if you can find, because it's a Netflix original, but anything can be found on the internet. If you can find the Knights of Sidonia, that is a badass.
It's a Netflix original anime.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like,
okay, I didn't know they did animes.
Well, it's a big selling manga, but they basically took that and did their Netflix thing where they just basically produced it.
Oh, so it's about mechs. It's a mecha anime.
And it's really fucking good. I binge watched the 2 seasons that they had in a weekend. I could not stop watching it.
Does it have Japanese vocals?
It has Japanese vocals or dub, or is that what it is? Dubs, or is it subs?
Yeah, dubs. Yeah.
They have an English dub.
Okay. So I prefer it to be in Japanese vocals. That's just me.
Well, I feel like some animes, yes. Like Trigun is one of my favorite animes, and I thought that the Japanese, even though I can't read it, the Japanese actors conveyed the voices better compared to the English ones.
Yeah.
But then another one of my favorite anime is called Hellsing. I thought the English actors were better, just like the Persona, because Persona has an anime too. Like, that's another thing. Like, even if you don't want to play Persona, go watch the anime.
I've been wanting to watch the anime. Is the anime based on the third one or the fourth game?
On the fourth game. But they made movies of the third game into anime.
And I think there's a new movie gonna come up soon, I believe.
Yeah. But go watch the animes, man. That's actually one thing to save you money, like, because the animes are just as good and they follow the story to the teeth.
Okay, you're making me feel like getting a Vita right now.
Well, you don't. I'll tell you, you don't have to, because if you want to play Persona 4, you could easily just watch the anime and get the same experience. But the game is really fucking good.
I just like the I feel Shin Megami Tensei is a bit too hardcore for me. Have you played?
Yeah, I haven't played because they have that, I can't even say it, the Megashi Tensei games.
Shin Megami Tensei.
That's it, Shin Megami Tensei games.
Yeah.
But I've only ever played Persona 3 and Persona 4, and I am going to get Persona 5. That's probably one of the reasons why I bought my PlayStation was because of Persona 5.
Is it exclusive?
Yes, for PS3 and PS4.
Ah, okay. Oh man, now I need to get a PS4. Fuck.
Hey man, you get a PS4, you play with me.
Okay, for your Vita, check and see if you can get Ratchet and Clank on it. It's seriously one of the best franchises that I've ever played, and it's one of the few franchises that I'm totally okay with if they came out with a sequel every fucking year.
I can check right now, actually.
Because it's extremely funny. The guns are super... It's one of those games where it has like funny guns. So it's like a black hole gun, or a gun where you shoot sharks and then sharks will swim towards the enemies and then just bite them through the ground. So it's just a very enjoyable game. It's a very, very good game. There's they came out with four games on the PlayStation 2 and three games, or is it 4 games on the PlayStation 3? And this is the first game that is gonna come out on the PlayStation 4. So it's a pretty big franchise. It's a Sony original.
You know what? I will give PlayStation this. I hate their network connections. Pisses me off.
Sony is not really well known for their software. It's always giving problems. Back then with their phones and all that.
There it is right there. The Ratchet and Clank Collection. is currently $29.99.
So is it 1, 2, 3? I believe.
Ratchet and Clank Going Commando, Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal.
Is that the only ones that you see?
There's Ratchet and Clank Full Frontal Assault, Size Matters. That's pretty much it from what I can tell.
Yeah, I would suggest getting the collection one. But look it up first before you buy it, of course.
Oh, I always do. That's one thing I do now is I read tons of reviews on games. I watch video. Very rarely do I just
buy on impulse.
Buy. Yeah, unless it's Steam
during a sale.
Like $2. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you just look at it like, it's only a few bucks. You don't need to read anything about it.
Yeah, I don't care. Even if I play 5 minutes of this, it was $2.
But most of my games have been from Humble Bundles, actually.
Yeah, I've heard of that. It's kind of like a donation based where you get multiple games off it.
You've never bought an Humble Bundle before?
No, never.
What? Say that again?
No, I've never have I ever.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You get like a bundle of awesome games and you just pay like one price.
Where do you get them?
Humblebundle.com.
I will check.
So they do a lot of indie stuff, like a bundle of indie games. They do sometimes like a big company kind of. They had a EA Origin bundle. They had I believe what was that company that died that made Darksiders? I think they had a bundle for that. Yeah, I mean it's slowing down a bit right now because a lot of the games that are being bundled, sometimes you already have it because Steam is also so cheap.
Yeah. Well, once again, once I get my PC working, I will check out Humble Bundle.
Okay, so I think we can wrap this up.
So soon?
What else you want to talk about?
No, I would talk to you forever, honestly. But I actually have more podcasting stuff to do tonight and tomorrow and Sunday. I'm actually
talking. I think you better get to that.
I got to talk to Dad and Grant in like 10 minutes.
You're recording another podcast again?
Yeah. So
okay.
I'm basically doing a marathon where I'm doing multiple shows this weekend. So I told them they'd have to wait because I wanted to talk to you first.
Cool. So let's wrap this up then. So I have no idea how to do the ending because this is a totally bonus episode. But why don't you tell the people how to find Podcasts Without Borders?
I will start by saying, first off, thank you very much again for having me on. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you. This
Same
crazy
here.
experience of just finding you through the vast
On Reddit
reaches
of all
the
places.
internet. Yeah, on Reddit. But you've got an amazing podcast, and just a shout out to the listeners who listen to the show. Like I listen to a lot of podcasts, and if this is the one gaming podcast that I have, that says something. So keep going strong with the Play on Ultra, and just keep doing what you guys do because it's really 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 good. And Nathan, Skyrim's awesome. Besides that, Podcast Without Borders. You can find me on Twitter at DavidMyers7. Our show is on iTunes and Stitcher. We have a website, podcastwithoutborders.com, where we post pictures of our little giraffe going all over the places and a whole bunch of other cool, wacky stuff. You can find my other co-host sleeping with women somewhere. I'm not going to give out his Twitter handle, but that's my show. And once again, I cannot thank you enough for hanging out with me, getting to know me, and let's crush some games sometime.
Yep, you're most welcome. I mean, it was a pleasure to have you on the Play on Ultra. Finally.
Anytime, man. Seriously, I put podcasts on hold so I could talk to you.
Awesome. That means a lot, actually. Okay, so you can find the Play on Ultra podcast on iTunes. If you're listening to iTunes or Stitcher, leave a rating, leave a review. If you're listening to us on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, and share us with your friends. If you're listening, you can also follow us on social media. We have a Facebook. We also have a Twitter account. It's at Play on Ultra. And you can email us your feedback or questions or any fan mail or anything like that at playonultra@gmail.com. So that's pretty much it. That's the end of the bonus episode. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening, and bye-bye.